first off, we thought we were going to be invaded.
Yeah.
Sounds like it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Apparently, Trump called it off thanks to a call from the CEO of NVIDIA, as well as a kowtowing from San Francisco Mayor Daniel Lurie.
Yeah. Also, Benioff also called Trump and asked him not to do it.
Oh, I didn't hear that one.
Yeah, the guy who originally asked for Trump to actually invade San Francisco, he called and asked him not to do it. Also, so he had a lot of pushback from tech. I also think, because Elon is bringing Neuralink back here, so that might have something to do with it too.
That's right. He's looking to rent another space, even though he stopped paying rent on Twitter headquarters. Good luck, buddy. Sounds like you got a great reputation.
Yeah, but we still do have some issues over here in Alameda, though. We've got the troops are still coming in. Over there at the Alameda Naval Base, and we have people who are blocking entrance, and somebody's already been hit with a flashbang. Other people have already been hit with tear gas. Yep. So I don't know how safe Oakland is going to be. San Francisco is apparently off limits, but he's got these guys over here. Everything, when you have a hammer, everything looks like a nail. So we're still trying to see what's going on with Oakland.
Yeah, why is it Philip Dreyfus calling Trump, huh?
Yeah.
Hey, don't invade my city, the city I want to own. That's so frustrating. Yes, I saw that. I mean, but it was great, though, too, seeing the resistance. I'm really proud of the Bay Area showing up. I mean, you had one guy out there at 6 a.m. trying to block everything off. I mean, that's just... That's awesome.
Everybody got early in the morning, and our favorite Oakland Observer was out there doing blow by blow, minute by minute coverage first thing this morning. So we have to be thankful for him too.
Yes, thank you, Omar, for all your coverage and all the coverage on the meetings and everything else too. He literally went from that to go cover a meeting where they're talking about trying to schedule the homeless abatement policy, homeless encampment abatement policy. He wants to have it in a special meeting. He's going to try to shove it through, which man, Ken Houston, like, why has he become this supercharged fascist? That's my question. I mean, because did you hear or see any signs of this villain turn for Ken Houston?
Well, I did. I mean, his number one funder was Philip Dreyfus. His second biggest funder is Empower Oakland. So I don't so there were a couple of people who were on city council who really were giving off these red flags a long time ago. I feel the same way about Jenkins. What's his first name? Kevin Jenkins. Yeah, I mean, Kevin Jenkins has been giving off red flags ever since he attended the NAACP announcement of the firing of Brandon Harami. And then after we talked to Brandon let us know that he was in cahoots with both Seneca Scott and Brendan Harbor Forte. I mean, he actually came at the request. He came to Brandon from the request of Harbor Forte to try to get Brandon to apologize to her for something he did not even do. And that should have been an indication to us, So and then over in the far outside is Charlene Wang, and Wang seemed to actually be neutral. I hope she still tries to maintain that, but she also is an Empower Oakland candidate. So these guys have kind of been sneaking through the back door this whole time. Yes, yeah, and I mean, and this is why they kind of push the right and the techies push this idea of authoritarian rule. They want strong leaders. That's why they want to decrease commissions. That's a part of, and we'll talk about that too, but they want to remove commissions. You saw that in San Francisco too. And they want to empower one leader, usually a mayor, something like that. And this is why. So they could that's why they love the idea of the republic. They don't like democracies. Exactly. Because it means you can ignore the people. You can ignore the riffraff. And that's what they want to do here. They don't care. They don't care. Houston clearly does not care that so many people showed up to fight his abatement policy. He's still going to just force it on people and think it's okay, Yeah. I mean, to me though, I love what Barbara Lee is doing. Barbara Lee started an encampment cleanup program of her own. Yes. And she also is intending to go after serial dumpers. And the serial dumpers are landlords. Yep. I mean, in fact, 75% of all dumping is coming from landlords at post-eviction. 75%. So the thing is that Houston, the thing that I think is really kind of like insincere and disingenuous about what Houston is doing is that most of his funding for his campaign came from landlords.
Yep.
Right. And he also ran with Lynn Raphael from the landlord lobby, which is also Chris Moore. Yep. Right. So what you're doing is you're deflecting the blame. Where is the dumping coming from? Like to say like what you need to do is you have serial dumpers. 75% of all dumping in Oakland comes from landlords post eviction. Right. Another 10% comes from unlicensed dumpers. But who are they working for? Landlords. Right. So that means that 85% of all dumping that's happening in Oakland is coming from landlords. Period. So if you wanted to do something about the dumping, cleanups aren't going to work, because basically, as long as these guys are evicting people, which they love to do, right, there's going to be people who have to abandon all of their stuff, right, because they just can't afford to move it out. And these landlords just take it and dump it over to where the most homeless people are in order to encourage people to get rid of them. And this recently just happened at on our lake. There have been people who have been sleeping near our lake. They don't hurt anybody. They're decent folks. I mean, got mental illnesses or whatever. But the thing is like I was walking around the lake. One day there's nothing there, and the next day somebody has come and dumped everything around them. Like there was so much crap, just like crap that just been dumped around these people overnight. Like and then you have to look at these dumpings and you have to ask, what? There is no way that one person could carry like all of this shit, right? Like chairs and couches and discarded books and plates, and like nobody's carrying these things one at a time. Like a truck is coming in, dumping near a homeless person, then that is the thing that actually calls the city. We need to have the city come and clean this up. So it actually does equal homeless people to the dumping. Right. So when you get rid of the trash, you also get rid of the trash.
Yes.
Right. And so and that is the thing that I think. So I like what Barbara Lee is doing is what she's going after serial dumpers. She's going after the landlords. She's also going to start empowering not only the city, but she's going to start empowering people who want to volunteer or even people who want to work part time to help with the cleanups. So I think like that's going to be a real problem for Houston. Right, because that's his whole thing. His whole thing is that we have to clean up these encampments, right? But Barbara Lee is like, no, the city's got it. We don't need your assistance, and we also need the assistance of this organization called the Urban Compassion Project. Yeah. They are also these people who were really leaning on where the city's negligent in the dumping. So, but we have to really attack the problem, and the real problem is landlords dumping. That's the problem. The problem isn't the homeless people. Homeless people are not gathering these things. The landlords are dumping things near the homeless.
Yeah.
Like that's
and the dumping's been going on for years. I remember at KTVU, you'd have neighborhoods complain, but the police wouldn't really go after them. But it was because also, too, you got a lot of trash and stuff to dump from the like rehabilitations of these apartments. When they're renovating them, they get all the like drywall and stuff, and they'll literally just go to some neighborhood and just drop it off on a corner. It's gross. It's just so negligent, and they just don't care, especially when they're just trying to save money. There's dumps everywhere. There's dump services you can hire, everything. There is a whole system for this that they are ignoring so they can save money. And what's even worse that you're pointing out is now they're using their trash to hurt others, to hurt the homeless. That's disgusting, man.
It is. But also, I mean, like, Chaney Turner just recently reminded me of what East Oakland looked like, say, in like 1985 before I got here. Mm-hmm. And this has been. Let's talk about the Bronx in the 1970s. I mean, the whole thing about people burning out apartments, burning out buildings to renovate those buildings, and then taking that trash and dumping it into the most impoverished community. Like that is just the way landlords have been doing. Like since forever, so why are we acting as if this is a brand new phenomenon? I don't know.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's why Mal's treatment of the landlords, take note, Always something to consider. Do you want to stick with Oakland? Should we go on to like what's going on with Armstrong and
yeah, let's go, man. Let's
yeah,
go.
yeah. Well,
Oakland's popping, baby.
oh, but yeah, definitely, that's for sure. I mean, we'll come back to the ice raids and stuff too. I think we should end with talking about like what you can do if you see ice raids and stuff. There's a lot of good information about
yes, there is tons. Yeah.
But so let's get in. First off, former chief LaRon Armstrong. He had a lawsuit. He tried to sue the city of Oakland, saying he was fired because he spoke out. They violated his First Amendment rights. Remember, Armstrong was a appointee by Libby Schaaf, so that should tell you everything, since she was so terrible. But yeah, Sheng Tao came in, fired him, and mostly, I mean, people say it was because he was speaking out against the federal monitor that's following the Oakland OPD. But there's also the fact too that he really kind of helped a cop avoid some scrutiny for a hit and run, as well as a discharge of a firearm in an elevator.
But I mean, the thing is, though, is like you're right, Armstrong. I think that he was trying to exonerate himself through this lawsuit. So I think it's very important that the courts kind of saw through that. There's nothing improper that was taking place as far as like he called himself a whistleblower, when in fact we know about one cover up, right? We know about one, but how many others do we not know about? That's the real question when it comes to this guy, because I mean, Oakland OPD is pretty corrupt. So I mean, like it's difficult to say that to say. I feel that like this is probably the best way for us to have a closure with Armstrong. I mean, like he's now that Mitchell's gone, there are people already talking about bringing back Armstrong, and so this decision couldn't come at a better time, actually.
Yes. No, that was yes, you're right. There was the allegations against Fong Tran.
Yes,
but he was like. There was like basically, yeah, he had a bad homicide investigation, and basically Armstrong was included with a bunch of other officers of lying and bribing to basically cover up his terrible homicide investigation.
Yeah, exactly.
And then the other thing we reference, Oakland side did not name the sergeant, but it was a sergeant on the OPD that was in a hit and run. And he also shot, his gun went off in an elevator, and he drove to the Bay Bridge and dumped off the shell casing. And this is the kind of cop, I mean, this is why, like, again, and you see the Oakland report, you see Ken Houston, you see all these people trying to defend the OPD and how it's too scrutinized and how they can't do anything. No, I'm sorry. If they're doing crap like this, they need to be scrutinized. Well, this is a terrible culture.
Well, and also, I mean, like, you guys are still having to do a federal oversight for something that happened 15 years ago. I mean, like there has been no signs of improvement. Right. Yeah. There's just been no signs of improvement. So, I mean, like, why do you think the OPD should be given this infallibility? They're not infallible, clearly. Right. Yeah. You can't even get your shit together enough to have the Fed get off your back. I mean, come on.
And it's for something years ago, years ago. And it's like, seriously, it's like they keep tripping over themselves. They'll literally go and claim like, no, we're better now. We're a different OPD. Yeah, and then you'll hear about Celeste Guap, and you're like, yeah, does it sound like it?
What? And then you have the overtime fiasco. I mean, it's just like, you have to perform better. Yes. Right. Like instead of trying to cover up your malfeasance and incompetence, why don't you perform better? Yeah. And then that way you can actually make this argument. You can make these arguments instead of just constantly trying to do these little cover-ups and these little backdoor deals and this little like show signs of improvement. Just show signs of improvement. I don't think it's that difficult, but I could be wrong.
I mean, for some reason, I mean, I think the culture just makes it impossible, Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Instead of fixing things, instead of going like, hey, San Francisco police, don't shoot a man running away from you in the back from your car. Like, don't do that. Like, You have no reason. You were not threatened. You just shot him, you know. But instead, what do? They go all out to defend the guy. Right. They go all out to remove a prosecutor that would hold them accountable. And you're seeing this with Oakland too. I mean, it's like, have you heard of any officers being held accountable? You know, not even prosecutors, you know.
I think that's really what the push was about Chauvin. I think the reason why the right got so scared there for a minute is because it did start looking like cops are going to be held accountable. It's like, you know, we only got Chauvin, right? Well, we got one in Chicago too. I forget his name, but like, yeah, I think like what they call the George Floyd moment or the racial reckoning moment or whatever it was, I look at it from a totally different perspective. I see it as holding cops accountable. Yeah. And it's not even a question of the race of the person. Like, cops need to be held accountable. They need to be held to, if you want to be held to a higher standard, you should be held to a higher standard. And so, I mean, I don't think the OPD is ready to do that. I don't think they're ready to acknowledge their shortcomings.